Hi, everybody, and thank you for being here to look at this virtual tour of the Welcome Center as we are unveiling a great bit of remodeling that we did during COVID. And with me right here, we have Reid, our Chief Community Solutions Officer. Hi, Sean, how are you?
Hey, Chris, I'm doing well.
Sean, we would love to learn about what we've done during COVID for the people who normally would be coming to the Welcome Center and a little more about what your vision is for the future going forward for the Welcome Center. So, I mean, how long have we been closed due to COVID?
So we have been closed since March. I guess it would be the 16th of March would have been the start as like most of the region began kind of the stay-at-home order right around March 13th. We as an organization worked with our district partners, the Department of Human Services and the Department of Health, which gave some really exceptional guidance to providers like us in best practices and how to prepare for a pandemic that we were rapidly learning about each and every day. As part of what we assessed in the organization here at Friendship Place is that we did feel that it would be in the best interest of staff, guests, and the community to close down the Welcome Center, especially during the early time of the pandemic. What we did at that time was that we turned our entire staff remote, who would be normally here serving in the drop-in center 3 days a week, and moved to a remote setting. We started to work on returning phone calls to individuals calling for resources and really just becoming a mobile triage in many ways in connecting people to the resources that were available in the community. We also did a lot of collaboration with our partners with Unity Healthcare, who traditionally do have a clinic day on Monday afternoons here. They were pulled to help support many of the shelters during that time, as there was as we were learning across the region that there were going to be some concerns in congregate settings. And so they closed down their outreach clinic here at the Welcome Center and started to move to those larger shelters, as well as responding to the district's use of hotels to have the most vulnerable individuals in rooms of their own to protect them. So we really worked across the community, across the board with our services to make sure that we were trying to keep as much operating as possible. I would say that we were able to keep about 85% of our traditional services, housing assessment, resources, our medical and our mental health in person were the two things that we weren't able to do. But throughout the summer, the fall, and now as we're in the early part of December, the Welcome Center has been really working hard to make sure that we have mail in people's hands. We do serve as a site where people can have their mail delivered, kept secure. And so we have made sure that at least twice a week, but then also in certain circumstances, we have worked individually to meet people in the community to provide them with their mail. We want to make sure that people were able to get their stimulus checks, that people were able to get any tax returns that might be coming in, monthly Social Security. Voter registration was a huge thing that we took part of, and we helped to register at least 100 or more individuals to be able to vote in the general election. And then we expanded our hours for about 3 or 4 weeks between the ending of registration and November 3rd to ensure that people could get their ballots and vote.
Well, it's amazing how much we were able to do and to maintain even during a crisis here. And I think the other thing that was truly significant is we have generous support from the Clark Foundation and from members of the community, like those of you who are watching this. This has allowed us to do some needed remodeling and work on the Welcome Center. Our drop-in center is a great building. It's a wonderful building, but after a while, buildings show their age, and we've needed to upgrade some things to make them more accessible and make them more useful. And Sean has been kind enough to give us a bit of a tour here. But first, Sean, the projection is sometime during December, we will be able to reopen.
That's correct. We are hoping to start the process possibly during the week of December 14th. That is our target date. We've had to move that just because some supplies for the renovation have been delayed, as there have been interruptions in supply chains nationally and globally. I will get a chance to show you some of the new toys that just came in today within the last 20 minutes of this recording. We're hoping to be able to reopen in a limited capacity starting the week of December 14th. But check our website. We will update there, as well as our phone messaging of when the new updated schedule will be in effect.
No, that is phenomenal. And for those who are watching, you'll see Sean has mask on because we do have people who are coming and going, delivering items. So it's important that we maintain that safety for our staff and our participants and really the community at large. But Sean, if you don't mind giving us a little bit of a tour as to what we've done in the last couple of months.
Sure. So give me 1 second. I'm going to go off screen. I'm going to reverse my camera here so that you can see the space.
There we have.
There we go. All right, so where I'm standing right now, I'm at our front door, which is our porch on Wisconsin Avenue. And this is kind of the first area that our guests would see when they come in. One of the things that we wanted to do as a response to the pandemic was to put in some sliding glass in some of our key areas. So right in front here is our front reception, which are staffed by some amazing volunteers that give their time several times per week. We have volunteers when we're traditionally open that help us at the front desk. They also help with distributing mail, basic needs items in the Welcome Center, and just be a general welcoming presence in addition to our workforce here at the Welcome Center. So we put in the sliding glass paneling here in the front desk area. Right here to my left, this is our service office, where generally 2 of our staff will sit during a Welcome Center shift, which we do a morning shift and an afternoon shift. And this is where they meet with participants. They talk about what are the challenges that they are experiencing in their experience of homelessness, or they may be at risk of homelessness. And this is where we do a lot of the really hard work to be able to find ways to say yes and to get the resources needed to find solutions. And so in this space, what we're doing is we're going to be putting in some new desks and furniture and some storage and distribution centers to be able to hand out those basic needs items rapidly, because there are some individuals that just come to the center for those basic needs items to grab some water, grab a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, maybe some food items to take with them. And we just want to be able to create the space that we can rapidly respond to the needs of our guests, since we do traditionally see over 1,100 people per year come through the Welcome Center. Those are unique individuals. Generally, we see about 50 to 60 people per day that our drop-in is open. And so I'm going to pivot here. There we go. And so this is really our main space. And this is really the biggest change to the Welcome Center that we are doing right now. Traditionally, we have seating that kind of goes in an L shape here along the windows and the wall here. We have decided to install a 12-foot kind of elevated bar kind of shelf that will be able to be used for individuals to sit at. We've also installed additional electrical plugs and outlets to accommodate for phone charging, which is a key need for individuals to keep their phone charged if you don't have a place that you can routinely plug in to keep your phone battery charged. We will also potentially use this space as a pop-up computer lab to help meet the needs of individuals who are applying for jobs or applying for housing opportunities. This is a vision that is kind of continuing to kind of develop right now. We've also upgraded our Wi-Fi in the building, and so individuals will be able to get on to their devices with Wi-Fi. That is going to be so essential for kind of working through some of those barriers that are common to accessing housing and employment. So we may also double the center on our closed days when we're out of a restricted operation phase as a pop-up site for our Aim Higher program, to have Aim Higher come on site here in addition to where they operate. And over here in this little room here, like I said, mail is a big thing that we do at the Welcome Center. To be able to receive your correspondence and key items. We have decided to create kind of that good old-fashioned mail room like you would find in a college or university. And so you can see there's no door currently, but we'll have a door here that will have a pass-through window. We'll have mail sorting stations and cubbies and all sorts of other supportive equipment inside. And this will be a mail distribution center for our guests. Many of our guests just come here through this side door. They'll be able to come straight in, grab their meal, and be able to engage with other services or go on their way. We're also going to be posting a huge resource center right here, a massive bulletin board, which will have a tremendous amount of information for our guests to be able to engage with, to seek housing, legal support, education, employment, all sorts of items that are really relevant to presenting needs by our guests. So that's the main room right now, but there's still more. This is going to be the gift that keeps on giving as we kind of round the corner here, in that we decided to increase our capacity for laundry services at the Welcome Center. And so just arrived this morning, a brand new washer and dryer. And this will be able to accommodate one load of laundry per person in the morning and also in the afternoon. And this is one of 2 facilities that we have on site. We specifically wanted to make sure that we had something on the upper side of the Welcome Center for ADA accessibility. We wanted to ensure that we had that in place so that individuals who need that accommodation have access to the laundry. We'll also be putting in some additions of that will be our detergent, dryer, and this is just it's going to capacity to provide laundry services.
Very good.
And then we redid our stairwell. We put in,
As you can see, we're working on the
walk. But down here in the basement, we had the basement renovated and have put in 1 and 2 bathrooms, 2 additional bathrooms into the center, which we only had 1 upstairs, 1 downstairs before, and now we're put these 2 additional bathrooms in here. And then our second laundry center is right here in the basement, which when we reopen, we will kind of limit the capacity at that time, just for cleaning purposes, as well as to be in step with what the mayor has requested for a number of people gathering. That's really important that we keep our staff safe. We also know that our guests, many of them may have medical vulnerabilities or compromising conditions, and we want to make sure that we keep everyone safe. So
what will the
that's a quick tour.
capacity be? What will the capacity be when you reopen?
When we reopen, we will have at a minimum 3 staff on site, 1 working in our case management office, 1 person doing the mail distribution, and another person will be kind of managing the occupancy numbers, providing health screenings, which is something that we will be doing as has been recommended by DHS, taking temperatures and just ensuring, just checking with people. We will allow up to 4 or 5 guests into the building at a time. We have a capacity for 1 person in that case management office, 2 to 3 people in this kind of waiting area, spread 6 feet apart. And then whoever is slated to do their laundry, they will then be asked to kind of stay stationary in that upstairs laundry, that first laundry station that I showed. And we're working on time limits too, because we know it's going to be the cold season. We want people to be able to have the opportunity to get in and be warm, because there are changes to the warming centers and access. We're going to do everything we can. We're still finalizing kind of what those time limits might be. But we also know there are people that are just going to be stopping through to pick up items, and we'll be working on capacity with that as well, and kind of having 1 entry, one exit kind of process to also ensure that there's not too much crossing of guests in the building. We'll have masks, we have hand sanitation stations. We're installing no-touch soap dispensers at all sinks today. So we've managed to get all the PPE that we need, all the disinfectant and cleaning supplies necessary. So we're ready to go once we get the remaining items done here in the construction, and then we'll be excited. I know our staff are excited to get back to reopening the center, and we'll be ready to continue to meet the needs of our guests coming through.
Sean, thank you. And thank you to everyone in our community who has supported us. As I mentioned earlier, much of this construction was due to a generous grant from the Clark Foundation, but also from all of you out there in the community. You make this possible just as you make all of our work possible. So on behalf of everyone at Friendship Place, and Sean, if you want to say any parting words, I'll let you say the closing comments here.
Yeah, exactly what you said. I mean, it takes, from the generosity of folks like the Clark Foundation, so many of our partners, our stakeholders across the region. Thank you so much for standing with us in our work to end homelessness and finding solutions. We are excited for the potential of the new and improved Welcome Center. And we know that it's going to take continued support from the community to be able to continue to provide the needs in our city. So thank you for your continued support of Friendship Place for nearly 3 decades. And we're excited to see what the future is going to hold for us.
Thank you. And thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of your day.